10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good evening, lovely people. Welcome back to the PREM Panel Show. Delighted to be joined by George, Lewis, and Daps. My name is Callum. We are Team Kopish. As always, when we get behind the mic, please make sure that you subscribe, comment, and like. But also, guys, make sure you head over to their channels as well. They have sacrificed and dedicated time to be on this show. So the least we can do, the absolute least we can do, is head over to their individual channels and go and subscribe if you haven't already, and show them the sort of love that they show us by turning up and doing these shows for us. Boys, how are we doing this evening?
All good. Someone's missing though. Someone's
I know, bro. I had the extra virgin olive oil. The fire was turned all the way up. I had the frying pan. I got the deep fat fryer. I got the air fryer. I came to cook
all the books for that learning.
Do you know what? And actually, I'm just thinking about it. We don't even know why. It could be tonight's result, right? Or it could be Sunday's result.
That's what I'm saying. We don't know.
Or both.
Or both.
I mean, Lee, you're probably watching this because you know it's happening. Lee,
you better be watching.
Like, listen,
where you at, bro?
I'm not, it's actually Callum on right now. It's Team Kop-Ish. The Kop-Ish comments know what to do. It's usually a three-letter word starting with L, but you can put as many E's in there as you want. Spam it, hit the like button, and spam it as much as you can because this guy needs to be accountable.
He does.
Yeah, we don't know where Lee is, so DM him. I'm sure you guys know where to find him. Drop him a message. Ask him where he is. We want to know.
No abusive messages. Just message him. Lee.
No, boys. Look, an eventful week. I'm speaking as a Liverpool fan. It went from the lowest of the lows, literally, to quite high. George, it's been a very, very crazy week for you.
Yeah.
Seems all right for you at the moment, and Daps, you got Haaland, you got Kevin De Bruyne, you're good, bro. So it is the way it is on your side. It is the way it is.
Do they?
Dun,
dun, dun.
I've just actually been doing a Leicester channel, and yeah, it's like I actually haven't worked out what Pep said because he's here.
Yo, what are you saying, my guy?
Listen, man, life comes at you fast, man. As my boy Chris says, like football's a humbler, bro. Football's a humbler, man. It's a humbler round.
I'm convinced he's just left the house and he's just gone outside for 2 seconds.
Sure, listen, hey, anyone wants to come and butt me? I'm at O2, I'm going to Taco so cool, man. I told you, it's date night, bro. It's date night. If Arsenal can't fucking win, so I'm going to have to go and learn how to play football now, man, because you know what? These boys are doing some bullshit right now, man. I'm out here, man. I'm out here.
Hold on, you can't just dip off like this. So hold on, Bajan Barnes got a super chat for you. He says, where are you, Lee? Salah and any ex you have choking pause on your words. Anything you want to say about Salah at the moment, Mr. 350K?
Listen, man, I told you, bro. Even a broken clock's right twice today, man. Listen, let him have his glory. Let him have his glory for the week, man. Let him have his glory. Listen, we got a long season. As everyone keeps saying, it's a long season, man.
No. I know I can't keep you long. Date night FC and that. Nunez and Gabriel Jesus, who's having the better season?
Oh, we're not doing that, man. Come on, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Asking.
He's having a better season.
Yeah, because is it 6 games, boys? Back me up here. Is it 6 games where they ain't scored a goal now?
Yeah, man. Listen, man.
You know what? Nunez has one more goal this season.
Bro, Nunez scored more goals, less minutes.
Yeah.
Why isn't he called him Darwin Noodles or Pune?
Listen, if that's what you're doing now, look. And by the way, look, O2 there for the people that think I'm lying about it. I told
Green
you,
screen, don't believe him.
Tucker's so cool, man. I told you, I was going to Tucker's so cool with the missus, man. I got to teach how to play football for real, I do. But yeah, man, like, yeah, it's bad. But listen, it's Europe, man. Like, we're learning, man. We'll be back.
We're learning. It's the Europa League group stages, man.
It's not Europe. Tell him, Lewis.
This is like Wish Europe.
All I'm saying is, look, all I'm saying.
You man getting done up by coffee shop owners.
Oh, then George is joining me next week. George is joining me in the Europa League next week, man. He's there. He's coming next week. Man.
I'm calm, man. A draw's good enough for us. We're in the knockouts, unlike some.
Yeah. Look. Like, yeah. Look, we didn't play well today. We could have got battered, but yeah, broken team, like a bit dodgy, and yeah, not a great result. But we moved, man.
Wasn't Saliba playing?
Huh?
Wasn't Saliba playing?
Rob, where that connection moving? Dodgy, right?
Hey, listen.
Sorry.
Like, the thing is, Arsenal nearly got beaten. If Lee don't come off his phone, he is going to get beaten, to be fair.
Yeah. That is what it is. But listen, people, make sure you smash the like. Big up to the crew, man. I'm out. Listen, next week, man.
Lovely.
We'll be back.
Love.
We'll be back, man.
Big up yourself,
Next week, we're coming, my guy.
Listen, hey, Lewis, I'm coming for you next week as well, you know. We got you. So,
You man are 2 points off and you're coming to the bridge. Let me not say too much.
Yeah. All right, listen, people, I'm out, man. Peace.
Bless up, bro.
Bless, bro. Big up.
He got good network in the O2.
You know what? Yeah, fair play. He took his beating like a man, to be fair. He didn't have to show up. I might not have. I'm not going to lie. I might not have. But yeah, it was always nice to cook Lee still. But George, unfortunately, I've got to start with you.
Come on then.
Tottenham went from hysteria to deflation within the space of a couple of... And look, every single person on this stream right now has experienced that. We experienced this with Everton. Man City experienced this against you guys. Chelsea, I'm pretty sure you guys have, like, Lewis, you must have experienced this some way, shape, or form as well.
Every year, Anthony Taylor wants a season.
But George, bro, that feeling yesterday where you thought Kane has done it to how you sit in the group now. Now you are still top of the group.
Yeah.
You're not out. As you said, you need a draw to get through. But we also know Antonio Conte's record is very sketchy in Europe.
Yeah, of course.
How are you actually feeling, bro?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually a bit nervous. The fact that is the fact that we have to go away to Marseille. They need a win to get through, and we need a draw. Normally means we're going to be a little bit, on the back foot in that match. And yeah, I can't be nervous for that. But very hostile. I don't know how many home fans they've got, to be fair, because they didn't have anyone in the stadium for their game against Frankfurt, I think it was.
We just mean the city of Marseille, to be honest.
Well, yeah, in general, it's gonna be tough. But very quickly, did you guys think he was offside yesterday? Did you see it? Because,
bro, I'll be honest.
I'm going to look now, though.
They said it was his knee, right?
They drew it. I'd be pissed. Yeah, they drew it as his knee, but then also they've just shown another photo today where they've got like a camera angle from higher, like directly above, and actually you can actually see the defender's foot is in line with Kane this time. So it's like, well, not being funny, like being in the ground, right? You're going absolutely nuts because that's how straight through, going to the top, through to the knockouts. Yeah. And you're celebrating for a good 3 minutes. And then it took them, I think, about like 3 minutes and 50 seconds, maybe 4 minutes to like actually come to a decision. And I've always said, if it's taken that long to come to a decision, and to be fair, if it's taken that long, they probably don't even know what they're thinking. If I'm being honest with you, they've probably been under so much pressure that they're taking a while that they probably ended up guessing. But I think you just have to go with the on-field decision at that point. I agree with you. If the linesman flagged and then it went to VAR for 4 minutes, I would not expect the goal to be given, because at that point, like, it's just obviously not clear that the linesman's made an error, this, that, and the other, so it shouldn't be given. But the fact it was taking so long and they didn't even have the right angle to see whether he actually was offside or not, that's the thing that pisses me off. And I feel like there should have been a little bit of the benefit of the doubt for the attacker in that situation. But is what it is, man. We've got to get a point at Marseille, and we just got to do it. Like, no excuses. If we don't, then we just quite simply don't deserve to be in the Champions League. Like, it's as simple as that. So yeah, it's going to be a tough one.
I'm gonna be real. So it's like, look, anyone who knows me knows I don't really have that much of sort of sympathy and empathy for referees sometimes, because I do think they make a rod for their own back. But I look at situations like that and I feel as though they're in a lose-lose situation, because if they give the goal, it's you're favoring the attacker. But if they don't give the goal, it's like you're meant to make the game more entertaining. But what they're not realizing, if that goal goes in and it's given, you get an extra 2 points, Sporting lose out on a point.
Yeah.
It like these moments change so much in the context of things. It was massive.
But you know what?
To be honest, I've watched it and seen it back so many times. I genuinely even now can't decide whether it was off or on.
But then that's what I'm saying. If it's like that unclear, then you just got to go with what the on-field decision was, because at the end of the day, none of the Sporting players were calling for an offside or anything during that. I remember their heads just dropped thinking that they lost the game. The referee didn't give it. The linesman didn't give it. Next thing we know, we're waiting there, standing around like in silence for 4 minutes. It does just ruin football at the end of the day. Like,
do you know what? I think you're right. I saw it. I was at the City game on Saturday against Brighton, and there was. For me, it's got to a point because there was one point where the ref allowed play to go. So a City player got fouled. The ref allowed the game to go on, gave Brighton the advantage. Then when nothing came of it, pulled it back. And it's like, shouldn't that be the other way around? But and then there was another, there was one where Haaland went down, and I think that was a penalty, wasn't given. Then there was one where Haaland scored, and that could have been disallowed, but it wasn't. Then there was a Bernardo Silva foul, and the ref seemed to have no idea on any of them. But more so, the refs seem to just keep playing now until VAR does something. The refs are becoming reliant on VAR, and we're seeing that if refs get called to the screen, they basically, I think, if I haven't seen a stat, but I would imagine at 50 times, probably 49 of them they give, because it's like if you get called to the TV, instantly in your head, our brains are very powerful. You're told you've been called to the screen because that was a foul, right? So whether you look at it and think, no, actually, and it is still down to the ref to look at it in some cases and go, no, that wasn't. But his mind's already telling him, you're over it because it was. So he's going to give it. It's just...
You never see it the other way.
And I think, ultimately, you are right. I feel like there's some instances where technology works, and this is in all walks of life. Do you know what? There's some instances where it just doesn't fucking work. And
and
the ball over the line thing, that worked. We run with that. The VAR thing is getting to a point now where all of us, how many times has a goal gone in, you're at a ground, you want to celebrate, but you stop now because you're like, I don't. It is ruining it.
A lot of my family, like my dad especially, my dad tries not to celebrate anything anymore. Now, and if there's any little inkling that something could be wrong, he just doesn't celebrate until it's given, which is like, it's just dead, isn't it? Like you want to be able to celebrate in the moment that it happens.
Do you know what? Even the other day, I was so confused that when on the screen at City, because they've got big screens, and it came up VAR check complete, I thought that was telling me VAR check complete and it wasn't a penalty, so we're going to carry on. But it was actually saying it's complete and it's a penalty. It's like, now I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. It's just, and I think you're spot on that, like, even the things with offsides where, his toenail was offside. Like, come on, bro. This is getting a bit much now. It is ruining the game. For me, it is. But
I hear what you guys are saying. And I'm just playing devil's advocate here. But shouldn't we use the adage that whether it's in a millimeter or a meter, we've just got to say it's offside, even though it's frustrating, because I tell you what could happen. It could be a thing of where someone goes, it's just a toenail. And then the next week it's just half.
Do you know what? Actually, I use that slightly wrong. I think if your feet are in a position, but it's like where I've seen someone's knee is ahead or something. It's like, but their foot's behind, but their knee's ahead or something like that. And it's like, this is getting a bit mad, where we're having to look at different body parts, and then you're having to get a 3D look.
Where's the cutoff, though, bro? That's the problem.
No, I hear it. We're in this, and even in the summer when they brought in what was supposed to make it easier.
Oh yeah, I don't even know if that's working.
I looked down it, and you're supposed to to automate things. Things need to be taken out of color and made black and white. It's a yes or no answer. Computers, binary, 1 or 0, black or white, and they were going, if the ball is moving faster than, it's like, well, faster by who? By whose opinion? You're instantly, unless you're putting these things in, it's very difficult. So I do, but unfortunately, it's shit for all of us. But I think, Callum, you are right. It's pretty shit for a ref, because the ref's now on the pitch thinking, well, I'm going to be overruled at any fucking point now, not just by the player, but by a guy in a room that doesn't have to face the 60,000 fans. That, like, this guy's in a room, snug.
Yeah,
I'm here facing. I mean, I can't remember the ref in the City game. He was clearly a Scouser because we were giving it to him for being a Scouser. But it's him that has to face that, not the guy in. It's just fucked. It's just, but it's.
Yeah, and I think as well, like the technology is not perfect yet either. So the problem is, like, I'm looking at what they've drawn as the line for the header, for where it came off Emerson's head, and when you actually look at the image, the ball is warped. It looks like a fucking hot dog. It's like this long. So one, you haven't necessarily got it at the right time. You potentially might have or not. And two, where they're drawing the line from the ball isn't necessarily accurate either. Because with yesterday's case, very specifically, if you could easily move the line to another part of the ball and all of a sudden he's onside, you can then move it the other way slightly where the ball was and he's completely offside. Do you know what I mean? Like, there is such fine lines in that situation.
We saw that in the game between City and Liverpool, that the day after, some things were being tweeted by City fans, right, of one of the incidents. And it was like, seriously, like you freeze framed it and you expect us and said, yeah, see, it should have been. And it was for City. And I'm saying, no, you can't freeze it and say this is proof, because the ball's not moving at that point. And you've gone from a certain angle that doesn't show where the ball is. It's all, you know, maybe one day it'll get right. But for me at the moment, I get the ball crossing because no one disputes that, do they? If the whistle goes that the ball has crossed the line,
there's no dispute.
That's it. So
I think it's because a goal mouth is still like it is still. You can just have the technology to make it like very, very, very accurate as to whether the ball goes over. Yeah. Things that's like with players' movements and the balls, like it can be a little bit more arbitrary, a little bit more skewed.
But George, great deflection, right? You've had us talk about referees and
hold on, Daps. I want to ask one more question. I'm going to go around the circle really quick on this.
Okay.
I know I'm going to. Don't worry, George.
Just before we do it, my biggest issue with VR is just communication in general.
Yeah,
like the fact is, if you're sitting in the ground, you haven't got a clue what's been stopped, especially if it is something that's a case of millimeters, like you saw in the game yesterday. Someone said it perfectly in the comments section. If they did it like rugby, where there's a mic and there's a level of communication between the referees and the fans, even if you have the moment taken away from you, at least you know why. All you get is like one replay after they made the decision, and you don't even get to look at it twice, and then that's it.
And you don't even get to speak to the refs after or anything.
That's the reason for me. So what was that, George?
No, I was just saying, like, and you don't even you don't get any. There's no accountability for the refs or VAR people after because they don't give any interviews.
You get punished.
No, I'll just say, like, I just want to hear from them, like, what's the reasoning? Because all the players tried to go up to the ref and he was just basically just pushing them away. And it's like, well, how does that help anyone? We need to know why you haven't given it, and why has he not gone to the camera himself? Especially
was it this time last week we had this conversation, or was it on another show where we were talking about miking up the refs like in rugby? Yeah. Go on, Callum. No, don't let him off though.
No. We won't. Just really quickly staying on VAR, I just want one word answer from you guys. We saw in that City game, for example, that City Liverpool, when you guys had the goal ruled out, that before that even happened, Liverpool should have had a corner because Edison made a fantastic save from Salah, right?
Yeah. Oh, was that not long before, you know? Was that?
No, that was literally direct from. It was a kick up the field because remember, Edison got injured after that. Rodri had to kick the ball upfield, and then you had the Flacco Haaland incident, and then you guys went and scored from there. Do you guys think that VAR should be extended for goal kicks and corners or not? So, Lewis, I'll start with you on this one.
I could understand why, but personally, no. I think it slows down the game enough as it is without doing it for goal kicks and corners. But I could get it.
Fair enough. George?
Yeah, I think I agree with Lewis. I don't... It just then becomes too much, because then the way they do it, they're going to be checking for absolutely everything, because they'll just use the argument that, well, this goal kick or corner could potentially lead to a goal, so we have
20
to
minutes
make sure
earlier,
right? Yeah, and it's just like it'll go way too far at that point, in my opinion.
Fair dues. Apps.
So before I agree with them, because agreeing with them would mean that potentially, let me be clear, the ref got it right anyway because Haaland fouled. You should, as a striker that knows that cameras are on you in the box, you can do a tiny little tug and maybe get away with it. He held too long anyway. So for me, the ref got it right anyway. It shouldn't have been a goal. Simple as. Yeah. For me personally, you can't openly drive around smoking weed. Then when you get pulled over for it, act like you've done nothing wrong. Haaland knows there's a camera on him. He got pulled up for it. He tried to get away with it, didn't get away with it. But I do agree with these guys. We can't go back that far. I don't know though. With VAR, it's just like
it's a madness because the argument I have against you guys, even though I get what you're saying, it slows the game down. But a corner for some teams is massive.
Massive, yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Where
it's just how far back. For me, it's more how far back you go. Like, do you go back?
Yeah. It's weird. It's a weird one.
So did they not check? Sorry, did they not check corners then at the moment?
No. Corners, goal kicks.
Okay.
That's just left for the officials and linesmen.
Maybe what you could do is because obviously there's supposed to be however many officials in whatever watching so many TV screens and this and the other. Surely there must be a quick way of like if they're watching it from so many angles, they can very quickly see a replay. Oh no, that's touched the goalkeeper's hand or whatever. Ping to the ref, corner. Straight away, like doesn't have to waste time, this, that, and the other. Like if there's a quick way of doing it where he can just get the information that, oh no, sorry, you got it wrong, that's a corner. But where it's like, oh, we're stopping play for like 30 seconds, a minute to then look at like multiple replays to work it out. I think that would take too long and too much out of the game.
Agreed. George, I got to stay with you for the last bit. Newcastle.
I know. Shambles. Absolutely.
2-1 at home. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna ask the question. How are you? I'm not gonna say you're speaking for all Spurs fans, but you're a level-headed Spurs fan.
Yeah.
You personally, how are you feeling about Conte at the moment? Because he's coming under a lot of flack. It seems.
Yeah. I'm definitely nowhere near these. There's too many extremists that are saying that he should be out already in this. That's just ridiculous, considering how we started the season, even though we haven't been playing that well. What I don't like let me say that again. What he's not really doing at the moment, which I don't like, is necessarily changing tactics quickly, changing for players and substitutions quickly. There's a lot of the times where we've been 1-0 down, realizing that the game's not going our way, should have made some sort of change, and he's not doing anything until it's too late and we're 2-0 down, whatever it may be. So little things like that. And then like in the game yesterday, he brought on Bryan Hill, who it was an absolute spark and looked quality. It was actually taking on players, but we were crying for something like that in the previous game, and we weren't even getting a sniff of a sub like that. And some of the other substitutions have been weird as well. We were chasing games and he brought on like Davis and Sanchez or something like that, or Skip and Davis. It was like some quite negative changes. That's the sort of stuff I'm not liking at the moment. But then that's also down to the personnel. The fact that Kulusevski and Richarlison are out, we quite literally don't really have anyone that's, apart from maybe Bryan Hill now, but we don't really have anyone else that's sort of good enough to change our game attacking wise. So I'm still happy with Conte, to be honest with you, because I think if he's not going to be able to do anything with us with a couple more transfer windows, then no other manager is in this current moment. I don't think that the style of football wasn't an issue at the end of last season, where we managed to nab 4 from Arsenal. We were actually playing good football, actually scoring a lot of goals, and it wasn't as defensive as it has been at the start of this season. I just think we really need to up our personnel defensively, because Dyer and Davis had a good season last season. The cracks are starting to show now, though, because they're just not. They're not the level that we need to be challenging for a Premier League or whatever it may be. So, I think we still need to give them a couple transfer windows to truly see what's going to happen with Spurs.
Fair dues. I mean, Lewis, I'll come to you next. What's your thoughts from the outside looking? Obviously, I know anytime Spurs are going through it, you're happy. What's your thoughts on Conte at the moment and Spurs? Like, do you think he's going to be under a bit of pressure?
Give us some inside info. I want to know what's your experience.
This is what Conte's always like when he doesn't really have faith, 100% faith in his squad. And like his football can be terrible at times, especially when you're struggling in games. He never really has full control and always seems to be overly defensive. But I can't shake the fact that like I don't really know if another manager gets better out this squad. I think the squad just still needs massive improvement. And I don't know, like you guys need, I think from some Spurs fans, a lot of patience is needed. And
100%.
The only reason why there isn't that patience is because the football doesn't look good. It doesn't look glossy. It's not something that you get behind. When everything isn't going perfectly, it's a struggle watching Tottenham, even as a neutral, let alone actually being a Spurs fan. And I think that's where the issue is. It was the same thing with Chelsea. What was that?
I was going to say, imagine how we feel watching Chelsea.
I know our football can be terrible at times. Trust me, it's the same thing. But with you guys, like all you need, well, it's easier said than done, is Conte has very high standards as a manager. And as long as you're willing to reach those standards, like I don't think the football would be like this. I think you lot would actually be a very dangerous side, like you guys were towards the end of last season. It's just Conte doesn't have faith in his squad. And when he doesn't, he's always thinking safe. And it's just frustrating as a Spurs fan, I guess, for you to go through that.
Yeah, sorry to cut you boys. Guru in the chat, final warning, bro. I don't even usually give warnings either. I'm going to let it slide, but you're on your last warning. If you don't like it, hell, you want to go and do that keyboard warrior crap, then do it on another channel. We don't really do that around there. So
that's wise. Yeah,
that's your last warning. Otherwise, if you don't leave by your own accord, then we'll just kick you out.
Please smash the like button on the way out, though.
Yeah. Daps, looking at Man City, looking at Spurs.
I was going to say,
now,
how dare you?
When Guardiola came in, Guardiola was accused of not being able to adapt to the Prem, not being able to do this, not being able to do that.
How dare you? No,
but he didn't have the players. And we saw the season after, 17-18, he got the players and Centurions happened. Now, I'm not saying Spurs are going to go and do a Centurions because the league is, and this is not taking anything away from Pep for anyone who comes from me, but no one, in my opinion, is doing a Centurion again for a little while when you look at the standard of the league and the competition.
Including us.
Precisely. Yeah. So do you think George is right? And do you think Lewis is right to an extent that, yes, he's having a bit of a bad situation at the moment, but one, no other manager can come in and do any better. That's available. And two, with a couple more transfer windows, he could turn this team from a team of nearly men into winners effectively.
Do you know what? I was sat here thinking, what, like, there's so much going on at Tottenham that I think to speak on at the moment. And I was trying to, am I going to be shameless today or am I going to be not shameless?
Do whatever
I think
feels
he's
best.
Right. I think that Conte, I've been one of the main, I'm really pushing an agenda against Conte, but the agenda is not that Conte needs to go now, right? At all. No way. My agenda is that come March, if they're not in a title race, if they're out of the Champions League, and if they're, well, it shouldn't really matter about the other two cups. He's had longer and he's had more backing than Jose got. Now, the one thing I really respected Tottenham fans for in the Jose era is that everyone said with him, he's going to bring you trophies. But they were already like, this football's not great. And you know what? We want to see good football. We're not going to sell our soul for trophies. And kind of that is a bit why they turned on Jose, because he got them to a final, right? But they wanted to see good football. Now, at the moment with Conte, I just feel like it's very similar. Of course, they don't play the same style of football, but he has been back more. He has, by March, he will have been there longer. Not at the moment, by March. And to be honest with you, it's the moaning. It's that I wouldn't like. It's the coming out and, like, you just spoke about the substitutions he makes. Sometimes when I look at managers, when they're making substitutions, it's like, are you doing this to prove a point to the board? Are you making weird changes to say to the board, this is what you're giving me? Jose did. That was a Jose used to love doing that crap, right? And it is very, very similar. I've got to say it, George, because, you know, I trusted the Arsenal process. I trusted the Arteta process, but everyone was getting at Arsenal for this process thing and trusting the process. And then when Conte comes out after the game last week and says, look, Tottenham fans need to realise this is a long process and we're at the start of the process, I thought, this isn't good. This isn't good listening, because it's like right now he's asking you to do exactly what you told Arsenal fans they shouldn't be doing, but he's saying trust the process. I think you're right. I think the quality of your team is not there yet. So I do think you're right. I do think give him a couple of transfer windows, he could really have you cooking. But that wasn't the story when he first joined you, was it? Like in the summer, it was these players and Conte, because Conte's a serial winner, could go on and, you know, really do something this season. Now it's a process and it just doesn't add up to me fully.
But was that realistic? Sorry, I just wanted to add that.
I don't think it was quite that, to be honest with you. I think because the levels were different as well in terms of the process with Spurs and Arsenal, if I'm being honest, because I think a lot of what Arsenal's was getting them back into the Champions League. And you got to bear in mind, Arteta's already been there for 3.5 years or whatever it is, and they still haven't been able to get back to the Champions League places. That was the main aim for them. Whereas Conte's aim in terms of process is, I want a title-winning team. I want a Champions League winning team.
Yeah.
So I think there's a slightly higher level standard for Conte specifically for his process. And at the start of the window, I was saying that the way it was going, I was like, yeah, this is great. This is a team that's trying to do something for this year. But I always said as well during our streams that I was like, wait until the end of the transfer window because there's still a lot we needed to solve. We did not fix our centre-back issue at all because I was saying the whole summer we needed 2 top quality centre-backs that would get into our first team alongside Romero to really play Conte's way properly. And we didn't do that at all. We still got Dyer central centre-back with no cover there at all. And we had to loan in Longley because we didn't get Bastoni, our main target, or anyone else. So we missed 2 key players there. And same for midfield areas or a more creative player further forward. So I think that's where Conte is now saying this is still a long process because I think we're going to add 1 or 2 of those sort of players like we did with Bensko and Kulusevski last January. I think we're going to do that this January. And then the summer, hopefully go big or maybe a big centre-back or something to really get closer to the team that Conte wants. And then also with the Mourinho one, where it was different in a way was, yes, he got us to a final of the League Cup, but at that time we were stinking in the league. So we were doing really well at the beginning and we were top with him by, was it
till December
or something
December,
like that?
Yeah, December, yeah.
But then it very, very, very quickly crashed and we're heading towards 7th, 8th, 9th. That's where it was different. It was sort of we're knocked out of the Europa League, we're knocked out of FA Cup. We were only had a League Cup final and we were 7th or 8th. That's where it was complete capitulation. So I can understand Conte could potentially head that way. I'm not denying it. If it's a similar sort of situation where
and that's more what I'm saying. That come March, I think but would you? Sorry, Callum, just to take over and ask the questions. But if would it make all right if he was to come out now? And because I think one of the biggest things with Conte is he doesn't stay places for long. At the moment, there's talk of this new contract. If he came out and actually signed a contract and said, look, I'm here for the long haul. This is not the Conte. I think that would probably calm everything down, right? That would be right, now we know this is a guy that wants to do that. But I think that's the other bit that doesn't up. You're saying it's a process, but I'm sat here thinking with the state of some teams in Italy right now, if one of them were to call him, would he go running? And
you know what? I actually don't think so. Purely because on a money standpoint, the whole reason he left Inter in the first, he actually wanted to stay at Inter. The whole reason he left was because they said, no, we need to sell our best players. We're not going to buy any more players to challenge your league. So that's why he left there. And Juve are just in absolute disarray at the moment as well. So as much as he loves the club, you got to remember he actually did a fairly long stint at Juve as well when he turned it into complete domination in Italy. So I think with Conte, it's just giving him the reassurances that we're going to get you the sort of players that you need or the sort of backing you need. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Lewis, but I don't think Chelsea were willing to do that after the sort of second season. So that's why it's
they spent money on just completely the wrong players. Every player they wanted, they got a C-Tech version.
That's what I mean. So I think for us, if it's a case of when the World Cup's finished and we're getting closer to January, I think we're in a sort of a catch-22 situation where Conte wants reassurances that he's going to get the players he wants in January. But then also Spurs aren't going to want to give him a long-term contract aren't going to want to buy those players in January specifically for him if he's then not going to sign a long-term contract. I think as long as there's trust between the two that we are actually going to back him and give him the exact players he wants, then I don't think we've got a problem at all. But then if it's a similar sort of case of maybe the Spence deal, if it's another club signing where we're going to buy for the future like we have done in the past, then that's when I think the main problem is going to come because then Conte will be look, these aren't my players. These aren't my players.
Oh, so is Spence? Did he not want Spence?
That was Levy. Levy.
No, that was all Levy.
That annoys me even more because I wanted him at Liverpool.
No, bro, Levy.
I want to see him play, man.
It's like Levy for the whole summer made that his little project to try and save 300 grand. Well, everything else he went and saved took ages to negotiate it and probably saved 300 bags or something.
It took forever.
But I do get what you're saying. I think there does need to be. I was watching a show earlier, and there does need to be context put on it that Tottenham are third and you are top of the Champions League group. That it isn't,
it's not
a capitulation. It's not like we're
it really isn't. It really isn't. Yeah.
It's just the football could be much better, and like I can agree with that 100%. And I think it will do.
Flags though. You've got flags now, which is good.
Hey, listen, I like it. I like it. Anything to make it.
We've got flags. We've got flags. It's fine.
No, honestly, for me, the main thing is getting Kulusevski back fit, because that he is the creator in our team. He is so good for us, and I just need him back ASAP, man.
I hear that. Guys, make sure you smash a like if you haven't already. Going to move over to Chelsea now. Lewis.
Let's go.
The weekend. What was your thoughts about the Man U game? They started better than you guys. You kind of took a hold of the game. It looked like you're going to win it through the penalty, and then a header from Casemiro at the end snatches them a point. What's your thoughts on Chelsea at the moment? You are getting a few injuries at the moment as well as the key players.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling? And obviously you won in your Champions League, but I really want to go back to Man United game. What are your thoughts after seeing that game, and what's your thoughts about Chelsea throughout the season?
Potter, at the very least, has good game management. He can recognize mistakes and like rectify it well. And as soon as we got to free in midfield, we took a bit of control of the game. But as frustrated as I was with the late equalizer, we were very lucky to leave with a draw. Like, we never dominated United at any point. I think at the most we just leveled things out. But other than that, like, we were lucky. United absolutely dominated us in that first half, and if it weren't for poor end product, Sancho just being absolutely terrible on the left-hand side and a few decent stops from Kepa, that was the only real difference between them going into halftime and the lead. Like, it was frustrating because, like, our league form hadn't really been that good in the last two games leading up to it. I thought it'd be a good game for us to try and build some confidence back. But yeah, it didn't leave me with a lot of confidence. I was just kind of glad we left with a draw because it really could have been worse.
I hear that. Very honest assessment as well. Now, in the Champions League, though, you picked up a vital 2-1 win, and I'm hearing a certain Kai popped up with something special.
Yeah, finally turned up. It's nice. We got a good half from him. It's the most I've seen in like a month and a half, but we'll take it. We'll take it.
I don't ever want to see a good half from him again, to be fair with you.
I heard you guys were linked with him, to be fair.
When?
No.
We've had a couple sourced in the last week.
No, he can say the fuck away from my club.
Oh, you guys wouldn't take him?
Nope. Even if he was having the best season of his life.
Hold on. Sorry, that's where did these sources come from? The carefree zone or
No, I did a stream on it a day.
Hold on, who's he coming in to replace exactly?
I don't know. I don't think he starts for you guys, but I heard he was linked. And
is he good? Is he good at right back? Because that's the only place we need covering, bro.
I don't know. Apparently, he can play in like 10 different positions, so you can give him
score a goal in the Champions League final. That's something he can do, to be fair. So.
I forget.
Might help you guys.
That's why I don't want him, bro. He can fuck himself.
But yeah, it was actually probably our best attacking performance this season. Like, we should have been about 2 or 3-0 up by halftime. Good goalkeeping in some cases, but also just Aubameyang really should have had at least 1 or 2 goals. Defensive transitions still got cooked a little bit, but I thought we were a lot better in possession, much better on the ball. Good halves from the likes of Pulisic, Havertz. Who else? I thought Sterling had a much better performance in that game as well. Actually, really positive from us, but I still don't want to jump to conclusions with it because Salzburg play very open. And we are at our best when we play teams that come out and give us a game. So I'm also not too surprised we had that sort of performance, but I'm happy. We're through as group winners. It means we can rotate against Zagreb. And then we got Arsenal and I think City in the cup straight afterwards. So like that's invaluable to us.
Are you going, Lewis, by the way?
Yeah, City away, I'll be there.
Oh,
we're probably getting cooked.
I'm going to shout you. I'm going.
Yeah, definitely. We'll link up before 100%.
Oh, that's some good content right there. Still,
face off.
Very good content.
Yeah,
I'm gonna book it off now. I know that I'm gonna use my last day of holiday to put that day off still. So
I'm looking forward to the content from that one.
I've been to the Etihad in a minute. Still, it's a nice ground. Really nice ground.
Thank you.
I think it's
for you, to be fair.
No, I'll record shit.
I want to open up a wider conversation, but I don't want to spend too long on it. Kai Havertz and Sancho both been mentioned by yourself, Lewis, and probably been mentioned quite a few times on this particular show. 2 players who came from Germany, and they were brilliant in Germany. Now, it's very easy for us to sit here and go, they can't handle the Prem, that's why they're rubbish. But that's not adding context to it. In my opinion, Sancho and Havertz are at the wrong clubs. Havertz and Sancho, though, both have a chance this season to change things because there's new managers at both clubs. But does this open a wider debate that we have to stop using this simplistic view for footballers? And I'm not even going to speak on someone like a Haaland, because I'll be honest, if Haaland went to somewhere like Chelsea, I don't think he'd be getting the numbers that he's getting at City, even though I think he'd be doing better than what Aubameyang's doing. Do we now have to look at a player and the adaptability and the potential in a squad rather than just the quality of the player? Because we've seen the quality of Sancho, we've seen the quality of Havertz, but is the club that they choose more important? So when you're looking at someone like a Bellingham in the summer, Liverpool's the team that's linked with him. Deep down, I know we're not getting Bellingham, but if I'm going to take my bias hat off, I think he suits City the best. So is it a case of these players now need to go to where they're best suited to a club to get the best out of them? Or do you think we're still going to see a player either going to the club that pays the most money or where the agent has kind of turned their head? George, I'll start with you on this one.
Amazing question, Callum.
I think that, to be honest, I think they're probably just going to go to whoever's paying up the money, realistically, as long as obviously they're still up to a decent standard. Because I feel like it's quite hard to predict. Like, say if you look at the Man United thing, for example, the changing of managers a couple of times, with Ranieri leaving as well, and then Ten Hag, like, you don't necessarily know what's going to happen with what managers coming in. So for all Sancho was to know, he could have come into the Man United and then they would bring in this manager that's going to change his career, get him playing in a certain way, teach him something new. But obviously that's not quite happening at the moment. So I don't know, man. I think they're always going to go to where the money's paying. But in terms of a football point of view, 100%, I think they need to be a bit more careful with who they choose and where they play for their success. Because, it's quite clear that for whatever reason, it's just not working. And that just happens. Some players just don't work at certain clubs. And Ndombele, for us, like, just because I can only use like Spurs examples, he looked like I wanted to give him loads of chances. I did. It didn't work out. And he's now smashing it at Napoli with a lot of players there. Like, some players are just suited to certain clubs and certain leagues. So, I think that does have to come into consideration a little bit.
Right. I think I've asked this question at a very good time because we're going to have someone else join, and I think they'll be able to give us a good point on this as well. But Lewis, I'm going to come to you before I come to you, Daps, just to speak on Havertz. Do you believe what sort of question I've molded there? Do you think that applies to Havertz in this situation, or do you think he can actually turn his Chelsea career around?
I think it doesn't just apply to Havertz; it applies to everybody, really. Like, I've had this belief that Premier League proven is like one of the biggest buzzwords in football right now. In reality, it doesn't mean a thing.
I hate
everything you said. It all depends on the system that the player is going to and how adaptable they are. It doesn't just matter for leagues. It just matters for the player in general. Now, in terms of Havertz, personally, he has a lot to do to prove himself to me. He's our second most expensive signing, and our fan base treats him like a baby. He can turn it around. Athletically, he's definitely capable of it. It's about whether he can do it in here or if he can do it with his 2 feet. And we have to wait and see.
Always keep a straight face. So,
but like the point still, even like for Sterling, for example, like Sterling's come to Chelsea. It's a much more defensive side, and he's struggling as a result of it. I don't look at Sterling and I think, you're crap. Why did we buy you? No. Like, he's clearly adapting to a much more defensive side. He's not having as much time on the ball, and it's impacting him. I always say, like, regardless of the signing, I give them their first season. Let them bed into the squad. Let's see how they can adapt. And then the second season is where you really start to ask questions of the players. So for me, it's just in general as a player. It's all about who you adapt to, not about the league or anything like that.
Very true. Daps, I'm going to come to you because you arguably have the best manager in the league at picking a player for a system and making it work regardless of name.
It still takes a while.
Yeah. Do you agree with that though? Because I mean, if there is a manager,
amazing question.
But let's be honest. But before the season started, how many people were saying Haaland ain't going to suit?
Yeah. Well, it's an amazing question. For me, it's a question far too intelligent for YouTube because No, I'm joking aside.
We need Mourinho in here.
It's one of them really deep, really good podcasts, because there's so many, like, I was just thinking of so many different players. Van Dijk, he chose to play under Klopp. Now, if he went and played under Pep, would he have been exposed at the back more? Would he have looked differently, right? That's just an example. John Stones, when he first arrived at City, how exposed he was to playing that style of football. Sterling, when he first arrived at City under Pellegrini, it was one-touch football. It wasn't Sterling football. And it's just, everyone's different.
Yeah.
But it is, when you're a player, I feel like you have to weigh up things. Like, money's so important to all of us, especially nowadays. I mean, footballers, they probably don't really care about the cost of petrol and energy and that, but money's important. But also, if you're Jude Bellingham and you're 19, 20, your next step's so important, because yes, you could take the easy money right now, but like João Felix, for example, how much has his career been hindered by making probably the wrong decision? That, one, he's at a club that doesn't suit him. Two, he's on such a release clause that he can't go nowhere. He's just stuffed. And like these young players, it's an amazing question. They have to find the club. They have to listen to the managers, not listen to their agents, listen to the managers of the club they're going to, and just work out what's important to them. If it's money, go for it. We all have to earn our money. But if you want longevity, then I think that's why Haaland's at City.
Yeah.
Couple of years. And when people say that he might go, he might go. He's here to learn right now, to achieve something in this league. He might go. He might decide to stay. He might, you know what, I'm happy here. But we never know, because footballers are very unique and they're all individuals. So yeah, man. Very, very good question, though. Very good.
Big out yourself, bro.
Who's waiting backstage? Oh, for fuck's
me.
sake.
Oh, yes, bro.
Hi, Cass.
Big up, Cass. So, bro, Cass, first and foremost, thanks for jumping on as always, bro. I'm gonna throw you in the deep end a little bit here. I don't know how much of it, the conversation you caught before you came on, but I speak about players like Havertz and Sancho and saying how vital their career move is, especially at that age, but also looking at the team they're going to. Have they got the facilities? Have they got the structure? Have they got the personnel to allow that player to thrive as well? You watch Sancho way more close up than we would. And as a Liverpool fan, all I hear is Sancho's this, Sancho's that. I have a soft spot for Sancho. And I got called out for it yesterday on the watch long we'll do it. Before he went Man United, I called him generational. Now, obviously, he's not showing that sort of form, etc. What do you think is going wrong with Sancho at the moment at United, and what do you think could be done to sort it out? Sorry, I've thrown you proper in the deep end. Sorry, bro. How was your day at work, bro? Like,
Nah, it's been alright. Obviously, look, my team won. Not everyone's team won today. You know what I mean? Some people want to hide, some people don't want to hide. It's like beating teams in the Netherlands isn't for everyone, clearly. So, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Where is he, by the way?
He did jump on shortly at the beginning, but he's actually out on a date night. He showed us proof. He's at the O2 still.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I don't believe it for a second. He just went outside and
George called him out.
Exactly what I said.
yeah, I'm by the way, I'm on date night. Look, I'm actually out. Like, yeah. Sancho, I don't know. I just feel like he needs confidence, and I suppose going to a team like Ollie and then not even getting game time, not playing stuff is a factor. But he's only got himself. Only him can come out of that shell. Like, do you get what I mean? I suppose the Bundesliga is full of systems. It's known for systems. That's all it is a system in the Bundesliga. And he needs to come in and start thriving a little bit more in the Premier League. It's a bit different. It's his second full season coming up now. I don't think his future lies in the left-hand side, not in England anyways. I think he's on the right-hand side or in the middle. But I don't think you're going to drop your £80 million signing on the right anytime soon. But if it means they're going to have to battle it out, then so be it. Can't have Anthony and Sancho playing on the same team. Like, it don't make no sense. They're quite similar in that sense. He went pre-season on the right, but he's only got himself to really blame. Like, the fundamentals are still shit. Like, against Chelsea, that was his worst game I've seen in it since, I think. It's non-existent at the moment, but he's still in the mix within a couple assists and a few goals. So it's just, we yet to see. Same with Havertz, but Havertz is actually shit, bruv. Like, he's free.
Lewis agrees.
The difference
I can't tell you he's good.
The difference is he's had 3 seasons now. He's actually had a proper manager as well in Tuchel in a system, and he's German, and Havertz also German. Like, there's no communication barrier. You know what I mean? But he might come good on the pot. I can't see it personally. I think he needs to go Bayern Munich back to the Bundesliga, man. And
isn't Werner doing all right over there now? Am I right?
Yeah, he's getting a couple goals here and there. Cho's also doing a bit decent.
Yeah, he's just none of them are really cutting the mustard, man.
Maybe we should go on loan to the Bundesliga, see how well we do. That'll be like the true team.
I'm sure we could all get 5 a season there, max.
No, I couldn't. I'm not gonna lie. I couldn't.
Yeah, man.
Is that a genuine concern then coming towards the players like Bellingham? Someone that's 19 who's obviously like thriving at Dortmund, but then what if he moves in one club and then struggles?
I think
there always has to be an adaptation between the Bundesliga and the Premier League. I think only Aubameyang and Haaland, have hit the ground running straight. Everyone else has always needed some time to adapt.
Jerome Boateng. Remember Boateng at City?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Like literally, he left within 6 months, went back and became Bayern Munich's centre back for like 6 seasons or something.
Cameron in the comments, Son came from the Bundesliga, and
there will be some. There definitely will be some.
Although actually, saying that, Son had a terrible first season for us. Yeah, you needed a season to adapt.
Oh,
yeah,
the
majority
he nearly left.
Hold on, who was that one United got? And then from United, he went to
Kagawa.
No, Mkhitaryan.
Yeah,
he was another one.
Yes.
Yeah, he was trash.
I would say no. Do you know what? I say Konate's been pretty good. Firmino as well. Matip.
Yeah.
How was Firmino in his first season for you guys?
Before Klopp came in, it was bad, bro. But Brendan was playing him right wing back.
Okay. Yeah. I ain't on him then.
Yeah, but when
I don't think Bellingham's got an issue though, man. He's 19. What is he, like 19 or something?
Yeah, I think the difference is he looks great for England as well. Whereas I don't think
really does.
I haven't seen that with Sancho either, to be honest.
Yeah, but just because you got to adapt doesn't mean like you're crap. Like, it just means you need the time to phase yourself.
Yeah. I mean, Bellingham. This is the thing I always say about Bellingham. If you go back 2 years, he was 17 and he was looking more at home and experienced playing for England than certain seasoned midfielders. And now he's captaining Dortmund in Champions League games. I think he's a very unique specimen, but for that reason, I think he will carefully think who he goes to. And listen, I'm not here saying it's going to be City. I think we have to wait and see. There's a World Cup between now. There's the rest of the season, but whoever gets him, I think he'll make the right decision. I really do. I think he'll make the right decision. Might not be any of us. Might be United, Cass.
Could be Tottenham, you never know.
I think it's City or Real Madrid as things stand right now, unfortunately.
We don't need a Bellingham in our team, man. I don't want Bellingham. I'll be honest.
I think Real Madrid's the one move. I'm not saying City, but I think Real Madrid's the one move.
Hold on. That's Cass. You're not taking Bellingham at Man United.
For what we need right now, no, I don't really want to spend another 100 million when we need 2 players, 3 in that midfield rather than one. One player's not going to sort it out. We need a ball play midfielder, and then you can start talking with your box to boxes and all that kind of stuff. But right now, that's not what we need. Like,
where's
honestly,
that Chelsea energy gone?
What Chelsea energy?
I thought your midfield was sorted now.
Oh yeah, we're linked with Bellingham. I'd take him.
No, not you.
Even
I
if
mean United. I thought United's midfield was sorted. I thought Casemiro, Ericsson. I thought that was actually no. You still want rid of Fred, don't you? You still want rid of Fred.
I've never said our midfield. I don't think I've heard any Manchester United fan run that narrative that our midfield is sorted. I think you're making it in your own head.
Oh, bro, when I was driving home today, whoever the guy on Talksport was, he's a United fan.
He's not a United fan. He said they make it up. Them guys are going there. They're not fans, man. They do it on purpose.
Look at that. Daps is on the wind-up, Cass, and you're falling for it, bro.
No, man, because it's just like, it's nice. These narratives. See, Talksport, they wind me up because they just talk shit. Every single one of them, bar Laura Woods, talk absolute shit. And to an extent, Simon, what's his name? Simon Jordan. Is it Simon Jordan? He's okay when he wants to be, but Talksport is generally a shit fucking
it
outlet.
is. We all know what it is, bro. We all know what it is. 100%. But
Jamie O'Hara ever talking to the great.
We got him.
Anyways, but yeah. Man
United. Let me just tell you before we move on to Liverpool, where you guys can cook us for the first part of the week that we had. how are you feeling under Ten Hag? Like you're kind of quietly going about your business. You're not losing games. You're not winning a bunch of games either. But you're kind of steady at the moment. How are you feeling?
No, I'm blessed. Like everyone that wanted to call him 9, 8 Hag, 7 Hag. Remember, it was only long ago where it was on this on the Prem panel talking about that, right? So and now he's got all his lives back. So what now? It looks all right. We're breaking our team today. Yeah, I get it's Sheriff, but they're not that bad to be fair. But they try. I can understand back 5s and back 4s and parking a bus, but a back 6. Last time I saw a back 6 was Mourinho with Man United.
Well, we see that week in, week out. To be fair,
Liverpool.
No, but I'm talking about a line of 6, the bank of 6, and then 3 and 1.
It's usually a line of 9.
6 and 4. Yeah, you can't stretch that far. But it was just we actually broke them down. We scored and whatever today. But I'm happy on the 10. I'm cool. Yeah, won 3-0 last time I checked.
Well done.
But
Dallo getting on the score sheet.
George, did your team win yesterday? Oh, no, never mind, mate.
You had to come in. We had all that. Hey, you bastard.
Wait, one second. I want to go around. Did your team win? Did your team win? Is that Dortmund? You're top of the group. And you're still top of the group, right? You're top of the group.
Well, so are Tottenham.
I know, but you're through. Chelsea, you're through. Liverpool,
we won. We won.
Tottenham. Told me confidently, George, that you're going to go to Marseille and beat Marseille.
No, I said earlier that I'm nervous for it, man. I'm worried. I said earlier I'm worried.
You might actually be confident. You actually might be joining us, or you could actually be left out of both of them.
Yeah, it's quite
Your
scary.
group is mad.
Yeah, you could literally. No, can you actually finish bottom? I don't think you can finish bottom.
No.
It's so weird. I was trying to work it out earlier because it's so close.
No, they can't. They can't.
The 2 teams below us are both 1 point below us. And obviously one of them has to win their game or draw or whatever. We can't. So Europa League got through for us.
Oh yeah, they don't have each other. They got I thought you'd have to play. Yeah.
Because we're playing the bottom.
That would be mad.
So it's such a weird group. It's so confusing.
If you lost yesterday, there could have been 3 teams that finished on the same. There could have been a result where all teams finished near enough on the same. 3 teams finished on the same points, and the head-to-head record, all the goal difference would have to come out and see who goes through.
Yeah.
Should have just done bum slaps and see who wins.
Right.
Even next week, Arsenal might even go to 2nd place.
This portion of the show, I'm going to sit back and go around the circle and let you guys have your say. Liverpool went to Nottingham Forest on Saturday afternoon and lost to the team that at the time of playing were bottom of the league. I'm going to be real with you. The nasty side of me came out on the reaction show of that. I was very upset with the boys, very upset with Klopp, very upset with the owners. But when am I not upset with the owners? Boys, I don't know if you guys watched the highlights. I'll go around the circle. I'll start with you, George. What did you think of Liverpool in that game? And do you think that might be it for our top 4 chances potentially?
Look, I mean, not everyone can go to Forest Ground and get a result, you know.
Well, technically, everyone else can.
I didn't get to see the whole game, but I did see that Van Dijk should have got like a hat-trick in that match and still didn't go through. It's a bit worrying, man. I won't lie, because you guys seem to get one good result and then just completely capitulate again as well. So I don't think top 4 is totally out of the question, but it is looking very, very, very difficult at the moment. And I've said throughout the whole season so far, I think, and I'm sure you have touched on loads, I think just that midfield. I look at it on paper every single game week, and it just does not look threatening at all. It's all smelly, bro. It's all either aging or you got Harvey Elliott, who I think is very, very inexperienced to be having to try and carry a Liverpool midfield. You know what I mean? So I think if you don't sort that out, it's going to be ropey for the rest of the season. So yeah, I think highly unlikely you get top 4 as things stand.
Oh, that hurts still. Daps.
You lot are just confusing me, man.
Women.
Because like Cass will tell you, I've been constantly saying, that
you've been backing us this season.
Yeah, I'm still saying, but because of what's happened, like everyone's been telling us we're the 2 teams that can go on runs, and we have to look at the season that you dropped off, and you still ended up coming back and finishing not 4th, 3rd, right? Form is temporary, class is permanent. You can't go from being that good to that bad, I thought. But I keep swinging because like the Brighton game, I thought you're back. Me and Cass both said that break when the Queen passed away, rest in peace, could be good for you. We thought we both said you'll come back, win 4-5-0. You came back 2-0 down, come back to be 3-2 up, then drop points. Then you beat Rangers, you beat City. It's like, right, build on this. Then I'm starting to think, are you now that team that can't put a run together no more? You can turn up in big games still, right? But it's that, are your players getting to that point now where they can't put a run together? And I don't know, because last weekend I came out and said they're not that team no more. They can't put a run together. For the first time, I'm going to give Arsenal credit and say they are going to be our dance partners. Arsenal drop points, and then you go and smack up Ajax. And now I'm like, I don't know again. I mean, you just have to get it sorted before the World Cup. That's the key.
I will say Ajax are terrible as well, to be fair. They've got big managerial issues.
Ajax are nice to watch, yeah. And fuck me, they could have been 2 or 3-0 up. But then the minute they conceded, they just crumbled. It's like, you're great to watch, but you're weak. But I just don't know with Liverpool no more. It's really like, I don't know. I think it's easier for other teams to talk on you because they haven't had this with you like recently because of the back and forth. I'm like, I don't want to rule them out because they'll stab us in the back. So I don't know. I don't know. It's for me. I will be 100. I'm blaming Klopp though. I'm blaming Klopp.
We'll speak about it on another show.
Yeah.
Again, it's another thing I get ripped apart by some Liverpool fans for. Lewis, your thoughts on Liverpool so far in the Premier League?
Yeah, like Dap said, you guys are 100% confusing. I didn't catch too much of the game, so I won't speak too much on it. But I don't get you guys. And what was that?
I'll tell you what the game was. Nottingham Forest came out and shut us, like, were in our faces. Then we got a foothold of the game, created a few chances, didn't do anything. They got a chance of us giving away a silly free kick, scored from it, and then we did virtually nothing after that.
I get a lot of 15-16 vibes from this Liverpool side, which is why I still can't really write them out. But it's when are you guys going to fix up? Because in terms of a top 4 race or something, I think people are still understating you guys. If you guys did get a run, you guys are only like 5 points off 4th. I think you're only 10 points off Man City. Like, you could easily get back into the swing of things with a few wins, but you guys are just in a rut and you don't know how to get out of it. When you guys do, Liverpool will be the same old Liverpool. I ain't too fussed about that, and like that speaks for itself. But how far back are you going to be by the time you guys actually switch on?
Yeah,
and how late will it be by then?
It's just got Champions League winners written all over it. I'm not going to lie.
You just killed my next point, bro. I'm going to come.
I was speaking to somebody earlier on, and I said to, like, it was me and Cass, in fact, and we, Mo, who hosts on our channel, was saying he wants Inter to avoid City. And I said, are you mad? In the Champions League, you just want to fucking avoid Liverpool because this is what I grew up not watching Liverpool win leagues. I grew up watching Liverpool have bad seasons and then win Champions Leagues. So it just got that written all over it for me. It really has. Sorry to kill it, but that.
No,
I can confirm Daps never said that to me.
You just fucking liar. You liar.
But that was going to be my next question, so I might as well start with you on this one then, Kaz. Again, I'm going to be honest. I don't think Liverpool will win the Champions League this season. But at the same time, Daps is right. When we have bad seasons in the league, we tend to do something decent in Europe. Now, you've seen, apart from the Napoli game, with the acquisition of Nunez as well, we may actually be a team more suited to the Champions League at the moment. Do you think that's the case, Kaz, or do you just think Liverpool not having a season off, but it's not going to be Liverpool's season for a trophy this season?
Hey, long way to continue, man. You lot are shit, bro. Like, let's just call it for what it is. Trash. You lot are trash. Nah, but
in that hat, you can't say trash in that hat, Cass. You can't.
I can. What? I've got like 3 different types of these ones.
I'm not knocking your hat. I'm just, don't worry.
Anyways, long story short, I think you got nothing to worry about slightly anymore. Like, you got a few games to go. You're probably going to win a couple of them to a World Cup. World Cup's your biggest savior here. And then January comes and it looks like you're going to spend to get a couple, definitely a midfielder. It just looks. It's definitely going to happen because Liverpool's got to figure themselves as well. Like, if they want to be in the Champions League or lose out on money, but other than that, I feel like you're right, man. Because you know what, you're only 4 points off a fourth, like that place there. So if you can be in and around there, it's not really many points to catch up on if we're being realistic. World Cup saves you guys. Obviously, there's always some sort of stroke of luck that always saves Liverpool or something like that. January comes, get a signing, another signing, and then before you know it, you get top 4 and you go from there. You're blessed. That's what's going to happen. And I'd still say at the end of the season, sell Nunez. Honestly, cut ties. You just don't suit your team. Look, I'm not being funny. You're trying to accommodate a team to suit Nunez. Nunez is shit, bruv. Let me tell you this right now. Whilst you can, sell him back to Benfica. When we take Ramos or something, go get Ramos, the new other kid, and just give it back and ask for some money back. Because honestly, Nunez is trash, bruv. Don't give me this thing because you're trying to accommodate a team for Nunez and nobody can play with this man. He's got Fernando Torres when he was at Chelsea vibes plus tropical Andy Carroll, fam. Put that in one, you get Nunez. Like, don't go on like you didn't see what we did yesterday. He only could score with his head at the moment.
No, I'm not. Look, everyone knows my thoughts on Nunez, but I'm gonna be real with you. He's starting to win me over. I'm not even gonna. No, hear me out. I'm not even.
It's like Werner did with Chelsea. It's like Werner did with Chelsea fans. He won them over somehow as well.
Win them over with what?
Cass.
Is it the movement and the work rate?
It's not just the movement and the work rate. He's actually getting goals as well. Now, don't get me wrong. He should have had more. Like the sitter he missed yesterday, inexcusable, isn't it? But the header he got, like
Andy Carroll.
No. I can't even do the Andy Carroll with him anymore because we've seen it, bruv. The West Ham game was another game where he was holding up the ball. He hit the post from a shot that no one else probably in our team would have done. Like what it is with him, he's an instinctive player, which is both brilliant but very annoying. Because as a striker, I want someone in front of goal who's cold-blooded, no matter the situation. But
and guess what?
He'll miss a sitter, but then he'll score like a wonder goal.
He's instinctively shit. Let me tell you one thing here. You just need to get rid of him. Look, I'm not being funny. I'm not being funny. He's not rubbish, but he don't suit Liverpool for what you do. Look, everyone around your team, the way you play. No, I get it. But he just don't suit what you're gonna do. And going forward, when you get a couple midfield, you're banging him left wing. You can't even play the actual striker.
No, but that's because we've got no one else there, bro. Diaz and Jota are both injured. We've got no one else.
Bro, like I'm not being funny, but the main man you bought for 80 odd million needs to play up front. He's boring. And it's not just him, by the way. I get it, the whole team. Fabinho, we need to have a conversation about Fabinho. Now he's gone from being the best DM in the league. Now he's looking like the worst DM in the league. I'm sorry, Scott McTominay's currently better than him at the moment, and that says everything I need to know.
Let's chill.
Currently on form, Scott McTominay is better than him in DM. Bro, you lost to Nottingham Forest. I'm not going to let you live that one down for the rest of the season.
That's cool. But to say
Fabinho is right now is looking garbage. No, I said on form right now, McTominay looks better than Fabinho. Fabinho don't look like he wants to play for you guys.
How many games are we talking?
What game has he played that's good other than maybe even
the Man City game against the best team in the league? McTominay was getting piped up six times.
Okay, and let's go to other games then. Let's go to other games. What about McTominay what about McTominay when he actually came up against Fabinho in that game? Or let's go to other games then. McTominay v Leicester, probably a man-to-match performance. Fabinho in another game. Fabinho's, bro, we talk about Liverpool. You talk about Liverpool. I'm giving it to you right now.
Callum, I'm saving you. Listen, I'm not going to allow you to go from conversations about Fabinho and Fernandinho to comparing Fabinho to fucking McTominay. Not going to allow
you can't compare Fernandinho to Fabinho anymore. I'm sorry. I don't remember Fernandinho ever having one bad season. Not one bad season. Even at centre back.
Saying that, based on form, then Nunez is better than everyone in your attack.
Well, not on form. No. Actually, wait. One sec.
Sorry, I was going to ask. Why you think, Cass?
Callum, I don't think so.
Can I ask how many goals?
No.
How many goals has Nunez scored this season? Because I know he's scored a few. How many has he scored?
I'll get you the official
like 4.
stats.
But I know what you're going to do here.
Honestly, I'm going to be 100, yeah?
Oh, he's got 2.
I've got a striker that's so fucking good I can do this.
Nunez is on 5 goals.
Huh?
Nunez is on 5 goals so far this season. In all comps.
First season, you know.
And he's had a 3-game ban in that as well.
Huh?
He had a 3
that makes it even worse. Well. So he has.
How many has Rashford got? How many has Rashford got?
Like 6, 7, something like that now.
So Nunez in 12 games has got 5 goals and 1 assist. So
Let's not do this
Rashford-
though, because I can compare.
No,
the same.
you asked for this.
No,
You asked for this.
No, it's not that. No, because I watch Liverpool at
Rashford's
times, and
got
I do watch
3
extended
goals in
highlights.
Europa,
I do
3
watch it.
goals in the Prem. He's got the same amount of goals in the Prem.
I don't know if it's been counted. It's one. I don't know if the one counted today, but regardless, what I'm trying to get at, yeah. Then Jadon Sancho's got a few goals and a couple assists, but
No, but you said the
but
form
then other
thing,
players
man.
don't have as much. Yeah, but he's not. That goals and assists don't mean form. I generally watch how the man plays. I generally watch how your team plays as well. You don't look good with him in the team. It's not just about Nunez.
But we
You
look
gotta
better
talk
with
about,
him in the team than without him.
I don't think so. I
We
don't
have,
think you look
bro.
more rigid. Like I don't think so. Maybe in Europe, but if I'm talking Premier League, I would love for Nunez to start. I would love it. But
If we
I don't
played
think
you guys
even
in the
if he
league and
played,
Nunez started, it'd be a much harder game for you guys.
I doubt it.
But we played you without Nunez. And you saw how that
Bro, I highly doubt it. I think did Nunez not come on in that game, by the way?
No, he was suspended, bro. Remember that was
Was
the first game
suspended?
he was
Oh,
suspended.
hey, luckily he didn't come on because he got clowned even more. It's fine.
Sorry,
You're the-
6-12 is not that bad. I'm sorry, first season 6-12 isn't that bad.
No,
It's
but we're
not.
talking about general. But I'm talking about general play. Like the thing is with him is that the team's not playing well. It don't help Nunez, but Nunez is no good right now, and I just think the way he just don't suit your team
I do
whatsoever.
hear
But
that.
you're
But
saying
because
he's not-
general
I
play
just
is not
wait,
that
though.
great.
In what
I'm
way,
gonna
though?
I'm gonna keep going back to the fact is he's joined the league and he's being compared to Haaland, and it's unfair.
Oh my god, I don't give a fuck, bruv. Like Anthony gets bare comparisons against the next man, but
Who?
I don't care. You
Who?
got brought in for 80 odd million, bro.
No, but
because he
I've
came in
never
for
seen
80 odd
Anthony
million.
compared to Salah.
No, what?
I've never seen
No.
it.
The guy coming for 80 million, yeah, and you're telling me he's not going to get one comparison to any, bro. He
I,
has
no,
to
but
perform.
I'm saying I've
He
not
has
heard
to
him be
perform.
compared to Salah
He
once.
has to perform. Anthony right now, general play and everything, he's performing.
No,
And
I'm not
I'm not. It's
saying
not
he's
just
not,
through
but
eyes and that.
Daps, Lewis, George, have
80
any
million.
of you heard in the media Salah compared to Anthony directly this season?
But it's
No.
Sancho. If we're talking about general performance,
No, I
then
haven't,
fuck
so.
Sancho's goals and assists. It's Sancho's second season.
Yeah, I'm not one. to
How's he
give
perform?
that
How's he
Nunez time.
perform? How's he performing?
Sancho's been shit, and I've said it. And I'm going to give it the same energy elsewhere. I can criticize my team. I'm not going to
Yeah, but
criticize
it's not.
Nunez.
It's not.
I-
It's Nunez's
Look,
first 12 games.
It's
in the
you.
league,
I
bro.
just feel. Whilst you got Salah and his big wages and everything, I don't care that he's on big wages either. By the way, that's their money. That's their thing, bro.
Agreed.
Nunez and Salah in the same team doesn't suit, and you're gonna have to choose one or the other at some point. And I just feel like you can cut your losses with Nunez. And I
Cash
don't think he
wins.
was ever the right
Cash
man.
wins.
I don't think you're ever gonna get the right man for him either. You're gonna have to get somebody more like Firmino to accommodate Salah or change up the system, which you're not doing at the moment. You're
have
back from
changed the
Lindes and his
system, bro.
books. Yeah, and it don't work. So
Bro,
what now?
We've changed the system like 4 times in the last
And
3
it don't
games.
work.
bro.
I don't feel Liverpool needed to change the system. I just thought you just
We
got your
did.
recruitment completely wrong.
We had if
You
we didn't
didn't-
change
no,
the
no,
system,
no.
we're sitting in
I'm
the bottom
saying-
half of the league.
Yeah, you're
bro.
trying to change a system for Nunez. It's not working.
No,
by the way.
bro. We're not. We
You're
had to-
4-3-3. You should have got you should have got a different striker similar to Firmino when everyone was more involved
Who?
inside.
Who
help your
out
midfield
there
out as
similar
well.
to Firmino?
You got Felix who wants to leave coming up right now. Yeah, bit similar. You could say he drops deep and everything. There's
How
quite
you
a few
get
players that
Felix
drop
from
deep.
Atletico, bro? He's got another 69 years on his contract.
Lautaro Martinez is another one that can drop deep and do all that kind of stuff. There's
Bro,
other players out there
they
that
didn't
you
wanna
can
sell
get
him.
there. Huh?
They didn't want us, bro. João Felix got like another 69 years left on his contract.
Bro, he's attainable.
Milan didn't want to
He's
sell
attainable.
Lautaro
Hey,
Martinez.
he's attainable. He's attainable.
How? Who?
I'm just-
Felix.
Right, bro. He
That's
wants to
cool.
leave.
Castor De Jong was attainable
Bro, the
as
only
well.
Felix we can get is the cat food, bro. João Felix ain't attainable, bro. Like,
Attainable.
he's no one
attainable.
or someone on the ball.
Just doing Arsenal. Put bare installments. I don't know.
No, bro,
To be
we
fair,
had
Felix
to change the
Felix would cook at
formation because
Liverpool.
what we
Felix
were not
would
getting
cook at
any
Liverpool.
supply from the
Pressing.
midfield.
If you're talking about transfers, I just don't think. Look, I'm glad you got Nunez now, and now I've seen him for everything I need to see him for. He would not have worked at Man United. But what I'm trying to get at is your general play the way you want to bring in Salah, to bring in even Diaz and so forth. And for the team you currently got, I will cut my losses at the end of the season. Go do your
Never.
transfer recruitment game. Go get your January signings that you
No
need to get,
way.
and then go get a player that's more suited. João Felix is in a pressing team. He knows how to drop back, run. He knows that he's got ability. He looks like he's tired of doing dog work. I think he'd enjoy Liverpool, and I think he'd be the perfect signing for Liverpool more than Nunez would. And I just don't think Nunez is going to be the guy going forward if you're going to also include Salah. Otherwise, you've got to change up your whole back room, go change up your whole tactics, and go from there. Or Klopp face the sack, bro.
Cass, sorry, you're playing fantasy. You're playing fantasy.
No,
it's not to think that Liverpool could afford midfielders and João Felix in one transfer window.
No. I'm not saying. I said in the summer. I said go get your transfer targets in January. What you're going to get. But if it still don't work out, which I don't think he's going to work out, in the summer you can still recruit a good enough amount of money and go get somebody else like Felix, who I think you can probably get. He would definitely be looking at Liverpool as a next step up from Atletico Madrid, or a Lautaro Martinez, who's just as good and he's still young, he's hungry, even in another pressing team like Inter Milan. There is players out there. I just feel like you might like to hear it. You lot can always get onto Man United and my problems, but you lot don't. The thing is with you, man, and your crew over here in the comments, you lot don't like hearing the truth from another fan's perspective.
We've got Jota.
And you lot was also complaining about him last season. Complaining about him last season that he don't suit and shit like this.
Hold on. So are you now going to tell me Jota doesn't start for Man United? Is that what you're going to tell me as well?
Yes, he would. Yes, he would. I like Jota. I never said Jota's a bad player. But don't go on like your fan base. Don't go on like your fan base wasn't onto Jota every time he played and he kept fucking up, even though he got like crucial goals when everyone was away, but he just didn't suit the way you man were playing. It was there. I saw it.
It wasn't about suiting the way we played, bruv. It was because he wasn't able to pass the ball.
A lot of players didn't want him playing, even though he got bare goals. Jota's sick though, but I don't know why he couldn't stick to Jota front
add
then.
Context, bro. We didn't want him playing because Mane was in better form.
Nah, man. Nah, that's not what I said. You saw, nah, bro. That's definitely not what I saw. I've seen a lot on Twitter over the times. I've seen a lot on YouTube.
Regardless of what happened, we had to change.
I got someone for you. You can take a player of us if you want. You can have Ronaldo.
Who?
Oh yeah,
Callum. I know they beat you at Old Trafford. You're letting this guy come up in Anfield and talk to you like this is a United fan right now.
No, because it's crazy to me because like man, they're acting like they're leaps and bounds ahead of Liverpool and all that, and like you're not.
I just think like you can cut losses and go get somebody else whilst you can. Don't let it string along.
Cut losses on a player that's now starting to find form. At least give him the season rather than writing him off.
Come on, man.
He's scoring the same amount of goals as
other than the West Ham thing, what did he really do other than score a goal? Like it was the general play was bad. It's not just on him, by the way. I wasn't on him. He wasn't much of a maniac. Okay.
But what we doing? He's holding up the ball, winning the ball back. Let me get to the point then. So Nunez was playing okay, but then Salah doesn't perform. But when it's just you got to choose one or the other. Your big money man or him for me. No, because Salah wasn't performing because at the beginning of the season we were playing a wide 4-3-3 where Salah was being told to hug the touchline, and Trent and Robbo or Trent and Tsimikas were being forced to come inside as fullbacks rather than go on the overlap on the outside. That was what was hindering us. The moment we moved to 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1, Firmino was able to drop into 10 and be more creative for the front three. The issue we had is that we lost Diaz, we lost Jota. Therefore, Nunez at the moment is having to play out on the wing because we haven't got anyone else with penetrative pace to go and play on that side. Salah's playing on his side. Therefore, Bobby's able to rotate with Harvey Elliott in the middle, and Elliott's able to rotate with Salah from the right and the centre as well. That's why we're starting to see a change in our formation and a change in our fortunes. And when Nunez plays, it causes havoc. Because how do you defend it?
It's not sustainable. For me, I just don't see it. Look,
it's
boring. It's dragging. It's dragging.
Too much explaining, Callum, to a United fan.
No, but when you said about a United fan, take away that support United, yeah, and fuck the rivalry shit. I'm talking the way I'm actually watching.
Norwich, is it?
Norwich, whatever you want to do, I don't care about that. Take away all that stuff. I'm seeing what I'm seeing with Liverpool, and it's not an agenda, by the way. I just feel like the way, like Eriksen, like Bruno, I don't feel they can play in the same midfield. It doesn't balance out. Same with Nunez and Salah, it don't balance out for me. And regardless who you get in a 10 and everything, I just don't think going forward.
They've been scoring and assisting.
Oh, bro, don't go on. Oh God.
How can I not go on? How can I not go on the receipts, bro?
I can't be bothered. All right, you
guys
like
me saying, how much you pay for your meal and
you man are doing fine. If you don't get angry enough, and you man are fine, you're playing well, cool, man, it's fine.
No, I'm not even saying that. But Kaz, if I say to you, how much did your food cost in the shop, and you go, oh, let me know, you guess with the eye test, and I go, why don't you just show me the receipt?
I'd rather get salad than I'd rather have salad than a tropical juice of Carol. What about that then? What?
No, that's fine. But your players aren't doing better than what perceived to be our rubbish players. So what does that say about yours?
No, what about mine? I know my players are shit, bro. I can take my criticism with my team and everything. I can say there's things that don't suit with each other.
You've not come on here and roasted Rashford or anyone. You come on here and roasted Nunez, but Nunez has scored as many goals in less minutes in a worse team.
I feel like I'm talking like Lee. I feel like I'm talking about Lee. I feel like I'm talking like Lee right now. But let me address it. It's not about my team right now. We're talking on your team. Not my team. Forget about my team.
The least of the problems right now.
I didn't just say about Nunez. I just said he doesn't suit the way your team is, and I don't feel like going forward. Liverpool wouldn't. I would sell him. Yes, I would sell him.
Milner, do you know
get rid of them. Look, this is why I say FSG are like the new Glazers, bro. You're spending money now out there, and it's just not suiting the team that you need right now. And I just don't think he's going to be that player. Like we probably spent money on Sancho, probably don't suit what we're going to need in the future. Probably gonna have to make a decision if you don't perform this season. It's like that a little bit, and I just don't feel like Liverpool have the time if they want to get back on top to keep going with Nunez and keep it going just for him to fail.
In Sancho's first season, after 11 goals in the league. 11 games in the league. If I turned around to you after 11 games and said, you know what, you should cut your loss on Sancho and sell him, what would your reaction have been?
After 11 games, yeah, but the thing is, I feel like Sancho.
No,
wait, one second. Sancho's season. No, I'm not. Sancho's ceiling as a football player to the eye for what he also done at Dortmund consistently, not just for 1 year, a few years. You would give him the chance. Nunez had 1 season pretty much in a Portuguese league, not a Bundesliga, which is rated higher, and he's not playing striker either. So you guys just come in from the Portuguese league and he scored like 30 goals. What do you mean? What?
Where was he playing at Benfica?
He was playing up front, bro, like getting 30 goals and stuff like that. Yeah. Like that's what I'm gonna expect a little bit better. And he hasn't come in. Even Benfica fans, like, don't go on like they didn't care that my man went. They knew they had better players around. So on that note, they done good business. They got rid of him. And I think he's a good player, just not for Liverpool. I just feel like certain things suit certain systems. We talked about systems earlier. We're going to talk about Havertz. Oh, bro. Anyways, you can go and win it. It could be anyone's game. Havertz scored a Champions League winning goal. What now? He looks shit at Chelsea still. What?
When was the last time United won a Champions League?
You know when I went,
So now we got a deflection about when's the last time we won it.
You
ain't got no comeback.
Because you're saying
ain't got no comeback. You don't want this logical conversation because you can't handle it. Team is shit right now, bro.
My team's only a few points worse than yours, and you're going through
and that's fine. But my team's not expected to be up there with City and competing. That's the difference. And I can live with that, and I don't mind it.
Are you guys finishing above us this season?
Right now, I don't know. I said 6, so you're probably finishing above us.
So where's all the hype coming from then?
Because I can talk confidently about football because I'm not one of them guys that only watch my own team only.
But you're clearly not watching Liverpool properly if you're saying
no. That's why I said from before, I have watched Liverpool games. I'll watch the whole of the Forest game. I do watch games, and if I can't watch the games, I'll watch the extended highlights. And not just that, I go off what other Liverpool fans say. You know who? Monts, Jamie, Jerry James. I listen to these man, Ish even. And you know what? I can get that information, and I'm going to gather that information. And, I'm making my decision after watching extended highlights or the full game and see what they say and make up my mind. And I've never seen one fan say that, you know what, even though Nunez scored, he's been banging it, he's been doing sick or anything, but he's growing on me. I haven't heard that once. I've heard that he still scored and he didn't even play that good.
What these lot will tell you how much I was against the Nunez signing,
It's fine.
Do you want me to rap anyone? What
I will say, put your chest out on the line. Do any of your attackers get more goals than Nunez this season?
Yes.
No, they don't. And you deep down, you know it.
In the Premier League or overall?
Oh, both.
Well, easy then. Easy overall then, yeah. As well. Actually, yeah. Right. I'll take my Europa League chances over Champions League. There you go.
Well, you better hope you don't buck up on one of the big boys in
there. I told once last week, make sure you beat Forest. And you didn't beat Forest. Man, I keep going up and down. Look, I said, a couple centre mids, I think you'll be back, but I don't think Nunez is going to cut the mustard for you. It's going to either be him or Salah, and you know what I said from before. There's no point in keep repeating and
We'll see. Unless Nunez gets injured, Nunez is getting more goals than anyone in your attack.
And even if he did, it doesn't mean shit to me, bro.
No, you can't.
Because a player can get more goals, but it doesn't mean that they suit the team a lot more. Because at the end of the day, if Harry Kane scores bare goals, but where does Tottenham end up at typically? Just in the way, around. He scores 30 goals, 20 goals. It doesn't get many trophies. No, it doesn't. No offense, George. No, but I'm getting that comparison. It don't matter. Yeah, look where you are, bro. But you get what I mean? Is that where you want to be?
Callum,
you want to be like Tottenham?
Callum, what was your initial question?
my initial question is, because of Liverpool's bad form in the league, could they do something in the Champions League?
I will answer that within seconds.
Right. So
everyone has opinions, man. Everyone has opinions. Whether you
no,
like it or
no,
not, it is what it is,
I respect it. I respect it. I respect it. But
Yeah,
I mean,
Hey,
I
I'm
disagree
hard
with it.
truths. It's calm, man. It's
I
all
don't
right.
think they're hard truths, though, bro.
Hey, we shot the sheriff today, man. I got all the shit. I got all the confidence.
Right, let's move on to Man City. I don't think we need to spend long with Man City. Let's be honest.
They won again.
Yeah.
They didn't. They didn't win again. They drew.
Oh, that's one about the league.
The thing is with me is that I just don't think Nunez suits your. No, I'm joking.
Daps, though, do you think Arsenal can keep it? Because I'll be honest, Arsenal right now seem like the only team that can amount as any sort of a challenge. Do you think they can keep pace to February? I'm just going to call it how it is, man. Can they keep?
You know what they kept saying I needed to give them credit last weekend when you lost on Sunday morning. I said, you know what, everyone knows my opinion that Arsenal can't keep pace, not when it gets to the business end. But I'm going to drop that agenda and say well done for how they're performing right now. And yes, Liverpool are out of it, and now Arsenal are going to be the ones trying to keep pace. They asked for it. I gave them the kiss of death. Southampton away, I get some of the decisions were harsh, but to win leagues, you don't wait for the ref to win you a game. You keep going, and you keep going, and you get a grotty, shitty result if need be. If you can't beat Southampton in October, that was the first thing for me. It was like questions. Then today, I'll be honest. Admittedly, there was some rotation. Saliba was still there. Tierney was still there. Ramsdale was still there. Tomiyasu was still there. Holding should have been able to do a job, because at some point, when it gets to the business end of the season, that's the Dom they're going to be relying on. And there was this like 15, 20-minute period in the second half. They're lucky it ended 2-0 and not about 5-0. It's, to me, they're going to tell me, watch how they spend in January. Well, what I'm seeing right now, yeah, they're going to have to, because if, for me, not a chance. This is not comparable to a Liverpool team that like can go on a 15, 16 game run. It's not. It really isn't. It's kind of made me start thinking again. If Liverpool find some form, Liverpool are going to be our nearest and dearest again.
17 points or something like that.
I'm not going to lie. Off of what I've seen tonight of Arsenal's defence, admittedly, they didn't have their main partnership. United have more chance. They look, honestly, there was this 20-minute period where defensively, Arsenal looked absolutely shocking, like really, really bad. And they just have, same as I say with everyone, get a grip of it quickly, it's fine. But you can't allow these last little blips in October, because carry them into November before the World Cup could be long.
I mean, can we also talk about that they've had now 4 bad performances on the run, and they're getting worse and worse in performances, and maybe a little bit of fatigue is coming and kind of showing, and also on top of that, they're lucky to have Nottingham Forest this weekend. They're actually
Chelsea next week.
This is exactly what I said.
I mean, Callum, how do you feel about being happy to have Forest at the weekend?
I mean,
I was gonna say that's why I mean, you never know. Forest could do a thing at the weekends.
You're hoping he does, because if Lee
I'll
comes
be
on
honest,
his
I'm hoping Forest do. I am, because it'll take a lot of pressure off me still.
Can you imagine? I got to date that again.
But just on City, tough game for City. We got Leicester away this weekend. That's a tough one. We don't know if Haaland and Cancelo are going to be fit. Walker's out. We have to step up and show that we can grind out results. So,
fair point.
Yeah,
fair point. Right. Before we move on to score predictions for the weekend, just want to ask a quick question to the guys. Newcastle, I'm sorry, George, again, but they won at the weekend, and they are now in the European places in the Premier League. Now, they've kind of quietly gone around and done their business, but they have made some very smart, good signings. Bruno Guimaraes, Botman, Isak. Now, I don't think they'll get top 4 this season. Top 6, I think, is even a stretch. But if they do, and Lewis, I'll start with you on this one. If they do get top 6 and they get a Europa League place, with the backing that we obviously all know that they've got, could they become a force in the league a lot quicker than people thought they would?
Kind of. Like, if they get top 6 after being in this position, I think that'd be a massive disappointment on their part. They should at least be making top 4. But if they get the Europa League, then suddenly they're in. Then they have the same sort of attraction that they would have if they finished in the top 4 anyway. So it just, I guess it's still progress for them. And like, they've already had a good enough start to the season that if they continue to strengthen their depth, yeah, they could be a very dangerous side next season. But all depends on one of the two. They're definitely capable of winning Europa. They're definitely capable of winning top 4. I think next season Arsenal could look like a much bigger threat, because I'd be so surprised if they don't do at least one of the two. And if they do this season, if they don't, this season's an even bigger disappointment than last season, because last season they didn't have this start. They lost to 3 on the bounce. So if they don't do any of those targets this season, you know they're going to talk anyway. But like, I don't know how any Arsenal fan has any sore chest for the rest of 2023 after that. But they'll have it anyway, because you know what they're like.
As they do. George, your thoughts on Newcastle?
Yeah, I said from the beginning it'll take them 5 years to win the league, and because I think it'll be quicker than the likes of City, because I feel like they've spent so far they've spent the money, I think, a lot smarter from the beginning, compared to, I think, the way Man City did. The only thing I can see potentially hindering them is, I think Eddie Howe right now as a coach, I think he's very good at coaching more average players into good players and to better players. Because I think I remember when Jermaine Defoe was at Bournemouth, I remember him commenting, I think there was a comment about him, he made it Eddie Howe, that he's not necessarily good at managing the big characters in the dressing room. So what I'll find interesting is that if they do decide to stick with Eddie Howe, like long term, when they do eventually start bringing in bigger names, if that then becomes a problem, or if they're going to need another manager to solve that. Because naturally, I mean, as amazing as like Joe Linton and Almiron have been so far for them, those aren't the players that they're going to be having for the next 5 to 6 years if they're seriously thinking about winning the league and etc. So I think it comes down to potentially who their next manager may be, if that then becomes a problem with Eddie Howe, and then also if they carry on making smart signings. But I think they definitely can, man. They look very, very solid defensively already. And that's bearing in mind without St. Maximin, who's obviously one of their key players, without Isak, who has had a great start when he came in, but obviously is now out for a while. So they have been missing key players here and there, and they've still been getting amazing results. So I think they can definitely do it within the next 3 to 5 years, like get some seriously good either top trophies or definitely for sure top 4.
Kaz, should Liverpool and Man United be worried? 2 teams who are not performing at the peak of their powers right now. If Newcastle get in the top 6, could that be trouble for us, considering how our owners move as well?
Let me tell you one thing straight, If when the top 6 gets moved about, we're not going to be the ones that get pushed down. Like, that's a fact. No matter what happens, we're not getting pushed down. Like, if anyone's going to get pushed down, it's going to be Tottenham or it's going to be Arsenal eventually. I don't think Liverpool will, but it'll be one of the 2 London clubs. Let's put that straight.
Got Champions League last year.
You're not having Conte forever. You got a long way to.
Either or is fine.
Anyways, it's either or, and I don't think it'll be my club, because we generate, even how shit we have been, we do also generate enough money as a club anyways to get what we need to at some point and just bail us out. And even if it's a shit season, same cycle, boring. Liverpool, on the other hand, I think like you're right. I feel like Liverpool got good structure. I'm just worried for you guys as FSG and with your transfer strategies of late, and who your next manager could potentially be if it isn't Klopp. But I thought Klopp, if he does stay, and I think he should stay, because I think he's done enough and he's got enough credit, get through the season. I feel like you can be in and around anyways. I think he can still rebuild potentially and have that chance in the summer to get things right. Because some of these players do need to go, and hopefully you can ship them and get new players. I don't think you're going to have anything to worry about. You still got Salah, still got Van Dijk.
He switches on to Liverpool.
No. Because
that was my question. I did say Man United.
I didn't listen to the full question.
Obviously, Man City's Man City. They're obviously not going nowhere. Chelsea, I don't think are going to go nowhere. They're just going to keep getting better, especially that they got a new owner. They get to spend as much as they can. And Chelsea, they don't fall off for too long, even if they do, regardless.
They're the shit that never flushes. Let's go.
basically. So yeah, man. I knew Newcastle they're gonna come up at some point, and Eddie Howe is look, they're linked. If you see a couple of the players that actually are linked with, it's kind of scary as well. They're about to maybe sign another Saint Maximin type signing on the right hand side with a left foot. Yarby. I know you want him as well. And then they're also looking at another centre mid. I can't remember who it was, and it's like
Madison,
and you're like, bro, oh my word! It's like this team is about to become vibesy as fuck.
They've done their research, man. They know what they're doing.
Yeah,
no, they really have.
So
Listen, they're one of their I think they're someone very senior. I think her name's Alison, someone or something. She literally went and did her research at City. Like you were spot on, George, when you were saying about they're spending they've skipped a whole era of Manchester City's bad spending.
But that's because. But let's be honest, though, Dap. Sorry to cut you. You learned from Chelsea. They've learned from you and Chelsea.
Yeah, it's fair.
They're the third brother. Like I could speak as a younger brother. I could see my brother make mistakes. Okay, I'm not going to do that.
The younger daughter always walks if she's got elder siblings because she's like, I want to be like them. And they have that. Like all kudos to them. The way they've done it, they're doing it really, really well. I've said, I feel like Eddie Howe will get to go on as long a run as he can until he hits his ceiling.
Yeah.
And when he hits his ceiling, it'll be very similar to City. Thank you. No disrespect. We salute you. Done an amazing job, but you're now not good enough, and we move forward. The only thing is, I'll be honest, like I was tipping them all summer saying they could be the team because last season from January to May, they finished third based on results. In the summer, they strengthened. So it's like, why could they not continue? Now we're seeing it. If they are in the top 8 in January, I can see the level of players they go for move up a level because they'll be like, shit, our business plan was to hit Champions League in 2 seasons' time, but we're here now. And then when you see the names, like, all right, to go out, City would have gone out and bought Robinho, Kaka, wouldn't have worked. But we just said Maddison. Well, for me, Maddison works. Like, he's Premier League proven. He would be moving up from Leicester to Newcastle, bigger fan base, more money,
bigger upgrade in Willock as well.
Yeah.
If you had money, like to anyone outside of the 6, it's Newcastle really, really could hit top 4 this season. Now, with the quality of Liverpool, Tottenham, City, United, Arsenal, Chelsea, it will be difficult, but they could hit top 4 this season. They spend well in January. It really isn't like we don't know. It's the weirdest season with the World Cup, with the January transfer window, with the amount of games. Have they got Europe? They ain't got Europe.
No, nope. Europe.
They're going to do Arsenal better than Arsenal did.
Like, and listen, I really wouldn't rule them out. And the thing is, like tonight, there's 5 of us. There's a space. Kendall, there we go.
Big up Kendall.
Knock out the Gooners, and then
big up Kendall. Right, gonna go around and gonna ask for all your team's predictions for the weekend. So Daps, you're the early kickoff on Saturday. Leicester City away. Not been playing well this season, but as you said, you've got your injury problems. You've got Haaland, who's potentially out. You've got Walker, who's out. Is it Cancelo is out as well? You said, right?
Maybe Cancelo. Walker out's massive. Harvey Barnes could have a fun time down the left. This is a hard one. This is the first time that I'm not like, I don't usually do predictions, but this season I've been doing them and getting them really, really, I've been on point with them. But this is the first one I have no gut feeling. That's good. I'm going to say 3-2 City.
Okay.
Without chest.
That'll be a very good, entertaining game. George, Bournemouth away. What are you saying?
No denying we've not been playing well recently, but our better results have come against the sort of lower teams, shall we say, no disrespect to Bournemouth. But then equally, our ways not has been as good. But look, there's no hiding it. We need to win. Simple as that. Still missing Kulusevski and still missing maybe like an impact sub in Richarlison. But I think they're potentially missing Solanke as well, who I would say is pretty much their like only goal threat in my opinion. So I'd say like a 2-0 Spurs win.
A gritty one or a... entertaining one from your standpoint?
I don't think it's going to be nothing's been entertaining with Spurs at the moment. But
That was Alan. That was horrible. That was nasty.
I swear there was no undertone. I promise you.
No, I think sort of a usual. Like Kane will get a goal, and then probably like
another penalty.
Højbjerg or Bentancur.
No, that's Chelsea. That's Chelsea.
Moving on to Chelsea, Brighton away. Lewis, what are you saying?
I don't know what to make of it because right now, Silva might be injured. Koulibaly might be injured too. I think we've only got one fit centre back. So yeah. No peace here at Chelsea Football Club, but I'll say 2-1 Chelsea just to try and be positive. We'll go for a Sterling double, but yeah, it could go either way. Really could.
We'll be doing our Leeds preview tomorrow, but I don't definitely know if I'll be on it. So I'll give my Liverpool versus Leeds preview. Liverpool at home, 7:45 kickoff. I'm going to go 3-0 Liverpool.
When's that?
Sky Sports 7:45.
No, when?
Saturday.
7:45.
7:45.
I know, bro. I could have done with it evening off.
We had a couple of those last season. Horrible.
Yeah, no, more than you can believe.
Oh,
more than you believe.
I'm going to be DJing with Liverpool playing behind me. That is going to be a mad picture to get.
Hopefully we win, so it'll be even more fun. Cass,
2-0.
you guys have got the 4:15 kickoff on Sunday against West Ham United. What are you saying?
2-0.
2-0?
I won't try. Yeah, I think 2-0. Like, actually, no, 2-1. We don't have Varane. 2-1. I'll say 2-1.
What is the situation for Varane? Is it really bad or
no? He's literally when he's due back as soon as the Premier League fixtures end, and as soon as like he should be in and around the France squad. He was only
so you'll make World Cup.
He's meant to be, yeah. So
these players
like,
now are literally going to be like, they're going to moan that they're more injured than they are just to avoid it. Like,
I'm actually worried about Romero. You know.
Yeah, I'm surprised Stones has started playing for City. That's only because of the fact that Walker's out. Because I'd be looking at Reece James and who's the other England player that's out? And Walker out, and I'd be like, I don't want to touch pitch right now.
Walker, James, yeah, shit.
There's a lot of talks on that. The Argentina camp basically not playing in the last 2 weeks of the Premier League because they're gunning for the World Cup this year.
Well, these South Americans, 100%, man. Like know they are club over country over club all day long.
Yes, yeah. I wonder why Neymar has 3 months out per year.
Well, Neymar's cooking. To be fair, he's still cooking.
Is still. As Zabiri says, learning center doing speed dating for points. Bejan Barnes says that Nunez 6 goals in all comps, less than 700 minutes. Jesus 5 goals in all comps, over 1,200 minutes. Conversations. Zabiri says George getting kicked in the face in the league and on the show. George, Spurs relationship cannot be healthy for you. Conte frowns or Klopp hugs. George.
It's never been healthy for me. Well, I'm used to it now. I don't get sleep. But we're staying as far away from Klopp's hug as possible.
Hey, the door's always open for you, George. You know this. Mrs. Sinclair says, Cricket World Cup, umpire decision is on the mic. Thoughts? I don't know if I'd want the refs on the mic.
I don't want to hear it on the mic.
Probably wouldn't be allowed to because footballers swear at refs for fun as well.
Yeah, but on the mic, it doesn't change it. Like he's announced it. Yeah. That's almost like rubbing salt in the wound even more. Like. Imagine at the Etihad and you hear a Scouser saying "goal given" against it. It's like, right, it's a goal. It's a goal. It's going to boot off. Like you can't do that.
I'm going to VAR. It's a goal.
It's a goal. You can't do that. Like they'd have to have their voices changed and all sorts. So it's mayhem.
Yeah, are they doing what's happening? So is this actually when he says Cricket World Cup? Is he talking about that's going to happen in the cricket
when they
or
do
in
like
football?
I think they do Hawkeye, which is their version of VAR, but the ref you can hear the ref's mic'd up in it. So the umpire you can hear what they're saying.
I want that. I want that in football.
Same as the NFL. The NFL
they do it in Australia. Australia, they do it, and everyone has more respect for it.
Bro. These accents, are gonna make.
Yeah, it will. It'll be a madness.
It's risky. I'm not gonna lie. It's very risky. Like honestly, to hear anyone northern hears a southerner say something, it's booting off. If there's, it's It's football's
But it'd be
different
nice.
to cricket. Like, let's be
But
real.
it'd be nice to hear. For me, it'd be nice to hear what they're actually saying to the VAR, because I feel like sometimes they get away with a lot of shit. Yes, I want to hear it. And I feel like, when you're in the ground as well, Daps, as well, or anyone, when you're at football grounds and stuff, there's so little communication with the crowd other than watching the screen. If the VAR decisions on or off,
I hear
there's nothing.
It's risky. All I'm saying is, football crowds are different to cricket crowds. It's very risky. That's all I'm saying. It's very
right.
Yeah. Big up to Saint LFC. Make sure you go and subscribe to his channel if you haven't. Big up Saint. Paul says, I love how De Jong wouldn't join United, saying he wanted Champions League with Barcelona. Well done, Frankie. From one of the most liked clubs to the disliked / hate, and in Europa. So big up Frankie De Jong, man. Andre says, it takes Liverpool to have a bad season for Man United to beat them. If both teams are on form, we all know who's winning. I can't buy that though, Andre, because we still lost them. They beat us fair and square. I can't. They beat us. Whether it was form or not, they still beat us, man. We got to take that one on the chin and hope we get it back at Anfield. Mr. Darcy says Darwin outscored the entire United and Arsenal forwards.
What?
I'm guessing
he
that
hasn't.
Just he's like top.
I'm guessing that's from last season.
No, he meant Haaland. Sorry.
DC says Nunez or Alexis Sanchez at United. Who would you have?
Oh, give me Nunez. Give me Nunez. I'm not even joking.
After all that,
I know you're suffering there, man.
I'm not joking. Like Nunez, I didn't say Nunez was bad or anything, but Alexis Sanchez was really bad at United.
You answered that quick. That's how I know you've had some harsh reality checks with Alexis, boy. Jay says there's nothing but agenda talk. Man has no point as to why Nunez doesn't suit Liverpool or why Salah can't play with him. I think early stages showed that. I don't think you could say that now, though, Cass. I do think they are playing well together.
Yeah, maybe in a 4-4-2 up front together. I don't know. I just
too early, man. It's too early. It's too early.
Nah, bro. Nah.
Mr. Darcy Drift says the rivals who are saying sell Darwin are scared.
Paul, please keep him. Please keep him.
Jay says Mad Nunez rejected United. That is a point.
And let me say this, Alhamdulillah, that happened. Thank you.
Bayesian Bar says Manu is like a dog having diarrhea. Yeah, I agree with that one. I fully agree with that one. I'm sorry, Cass, I do.
What did he say? Sorry, I didn't see that.
They're like a dog having diarrhea.
Oh, no, I can't disagree with that one either. It's a little bit like that for up and down seasons, man. Sometimes they shit the bed and sometimes they don't.
Sometimes maybe good. Sometimes
Asian Bar says, Kaz, let's put some context here. Liverpool has not had a fully fit, healthy squad this season.
Here we go.
Where would any of the top 6 teams be with the same injury issues, which didn't help with the lack of force?
I don't want to hear none of that, because City's had bare injuries. Spurs have had injuries. We've had no striker all season. We have ran in and out a little bit. We've had injuries too. We've had no backup right back.
Chelsea have no centre backs right now.
Every team has had injuries to deal with. Every team has had situations.
Well, Haaland's battery keeps running out. It's fucking mad.
With the new lithium pack. That's what he needs.
Man's solar powered. Let's not be. Man's powered by Tesla.
That's why it's the winter now, isn't it? There's getting less sunlight.
Yeah, it's the winter now. The next day,
firmware updates are annoying, man. They fuck up your battery.
AMPM says, have you guys spoke about Mario from Arsenal? We haven't. I wanted to save that before we ended the show.
Just hoping
I didn't want to touch on it and then jump into other stuff. Yeah, very serious situation. We've heard he unfortunately got stabbed in Italy. So I want to wish him a safe and fully fit recovery. So just thoughts and prayers go out to him, and for the people who did it, we hope that they are brought to justice in the best way possible. So
mad.
Yeah, crazy. It should not be happening.
Nope.
Should not be happening at all. But guys, I'm gonna wrap up here. Guys, in the comment section, please do smash the like if you haven't already. But more importantly, guys, make sure you go and check out Never a Foul. Make sure you go and check out George's channel. Make sure you go and check out Lewis's channel. These guys sacrifice their time, energy. They could be doing anything else on a Thursday evening, but they've decided to come on this show and provide you guys with content. So please, the least that we can do for myself, who's part of the channel, but also you guys who support the channel, is going to support them and their channels as well. So please make sure you guys go and do that. We are going to be back tomorrow night. We'll be back tomorrow during the day with a Leeds United preview. Not sure who'll be doing that, whether it'll be me or Drift, but we'll figure that out. And then in the evening, we got the call-in show, which last week, if you watched, you'll know was absolutely legendary and epic. So hopefully we have another one of those shows. Guys, just before we end, where would you like the people to follow you on social? What's your handles on socials and that? George, I'll start with you.
Literally, it's written there. George Achillea across everything. YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Just follow it up.
Cool. Daps?
MCFC Daps on Instagram only, please, not Twitter.
Cool.
And never fail. Most importantly, never fail.
Lewis?
Yeah, Carefree Lewis G and Chelsea Fan TV. Just all socials. And yeah, big up everybody. Big up.
Big up, bro. And Cass. And also, Cass, thanks for jumping in last minute and the time as well. Appreciate that, man. Where can the people find and support you?
Yeah, MESC Cass, anywhere, Insta, Twitter, never a foul. Always there. Always surrounded by delusions in the comment sections at times. But it is what it is. We handle it.
Indeed. But now, big up to you all, boys. Much appreciated for you guys coming on. Massive thanks to everyone who watched. Until we see you next time, stay. Let me try that again. To everyone in the comment section, stay safe, stay blessed. We are Kopish. We're out, people. Take care.